do I got good news for you? We have found it! The Holy Grail marble divider. Yes! This design solves a really important problem for my marble machine. I want to split this one marble track onto 4 different marble tracks, and I've been working several years on finding a good solution for this. And I love that this design solves the problem in such a smart but simple way, but I love it even more because the design is actually a suggestion from the viewers of this YouTube channel. So a couple of weeks ago I said this: I actually don't think this design exists. I do not think you can do it. So if you want to prove me wrong, and I know you would love to prove me wrong, this is your chance. Thank you. You proved me wrong, and I'm so happy about it. I had 50 design suggestions from the viewers, and 4 people independent of each other nailed this design. And later in the video we're gonna look closer at the design suggestions, but first let's understand exactly the problem and how the solution works. The design starts with this simple Y-split. When one track is empty, the next marble will fall into the empty track. My previous marble dividers were supposed to work in the same way. The marbles should always fill the empty tracks here, but the old designs were never reliable. No matter how well I fine-tuned these systems, there was always some marbles that managed to get stuck. The simple Y-split, on the other hand, has so far been 100% reliable. It just works. By putting several Y-splits in series, we can divide one track to however many tracks we need. But the Y-split has an Achilles heel. When this marble here is in its correct position, the split works perfectly. But look what happens if this marble moves up a bit to a new position. The marble is stopping the other marbles from going into the right lane. The divider is jammed. The situation is the same for the lower Y-splits. When the marbles are out of position, the divider jams, and this is never acceptable. So we have to solve this problem. The best solution I came up with was using these wiggle tracks. By changing the amount of wiggle, we can adjust the length of the track and we can get the marbles into correct position and the Y-split works. However, this demands quite a lot of extra parts and some fine-tuning, and this is where the Holy Grail divider comes in. By using this simple but smart zigzag pattern, the lower marble starts to act like a spring. You can see how the lowest marble is moving continuously while the top marble is not moving at all. Once the marbles reach a critical position, the entire line of marbles moves at once, one full marble step. So regardless of where the lowest marble is, the important marble up here in the Y-split is always at the perfect spot. When I move the lowest marble down, the marbles takes a shorter path around the corners, which creates this elasticity of the marble positions. Let's put the design to the test. I stop all the marbles and change the positions of the marble gates randomly, and it works perfectly without any need of fine-tuning. Let's try one more time. Changing the positions of the gates. Perfection. Every time. And here I think is the clearest example of all. When I keep lowering the track, you can see how the top marbles always moves in full marble steps. Magic. Okay, last Friday I had this mega cold and with fever and everything, and I was going through all the 50 design submissions. And there was some interesting ideas, but I had only 10 submissions left to look at when I suddenly opened up this amazing animation from Andrew G. Kiepert. First I was like, this looks way too complicated. What is even going on? But after some time looking at it, I was suddenly feeling excited. I was like, wait a minute, this actually could be it, right? And then I was like, okay, let's check some more submissions. And the very next submission was this one, The Avalanche by Joseph Rebstock. So this video made me literally punch the air in excitement in front of my computer, because when I saw this, I knew that we had found it. If you look closely, you can see that Joseph have 3D printed not only the tracks, but also the marbles themselves. So that's a brilliant example of how useful 3D printing is for prototyping. Such a wonderful, great feeling. I looked through some more of the submissions and found this by the YouTube channel Moonquake 1881.
Look how the topmost purple marble almost does not move, while the orange marble moves a lot. Perfect for ensuring marbles are properly aligned in your divide by 2.
This is the same exact idea, but executed a bit differently, and it's so cool to see several people having the same idea independent of each other. Always a great sign. But in my fever joy about this solution, I was thinking, I have seen this before somewhere. And I asked Doro to help me find it, and Doro sent me the airtables with the old design ideas for the Marble Machine X. And there it was. Someone already suggested this idea 3 years ago. And everyone, take a guess who that someone was? Of course, it was the one and only Rosero. I've never met Rosero, but Rosero is the King Midas of mechanical design. Everything he touches turns to gold, but in a good way. I had this feeling that I featured this design in an earlier video as well, and oh yes, it was actually in the very first design review I did.
Design review. Let's go. In this design review, I will review some mechanism ideas from Rosero Bertoli. Let's go. Okay, that's cool. So, wow, calculus. He has a calculus box. I don't even know what calculus is. This can also handle the pressure. That's really cool. Free flow, super slow. So this would totally take care of any marble pressure, because the pressure is just going out into the walls. This is really good. I'm going to give this design 3 I'm not a cat. Next design. What is this for sorcery?
When I was recording this video, I was thinking more about marble pressure than marble height. So I think I actually misunderstood this design a little bit. So the Holy Grail was there in front of my eyes all this time. A really cool aspect of this design is that you can actually change only one single variable to change its performance, and that is the angle of the tracks. Andrew has illustrated this perfectly in the animation. You can see that the left version is using 114 degrees angle and the right version uses 108 degrees. I printed tests in 3 different angles, 135, 125 and 105. And as you can see here, the steeper the angle, the less movement you have on the top marbles when I'm lowering the lowest marble. With a steeper angle, you can have fewer turns and make the design more compact. In my test, I felt that a more shallow angle makes the marbles flow better. A really steep angle makes the marble stick like this. If we take a quick look in CAD, we can see that this design really makes itself. So first you enter the size of the marble, then make these circles tangential, then copy that and decide on an angle. There's really only 2 parameters that I have to decide here: the width of the marble track and the angle of the turns. And that's how simple it is to design the Holy Grail marble divider. So with the Holy Grail divider being so simple, why were my previous dividers so complicated? In my video Marble Machine X, a lesson in dumb design, I'm explaining in detail why my previous marble dividers were so complicated. In that video, Elon Musk is sharing his design algorithm, and what did Elon say about step 1 in a design process?
First, make your requirements less dumb. Your requirements are definitely dumb.
I didn't make my design requirements less dumb. I made the Marble Machine X divider vertical so that you could see the marble division from the front of the machine. So I had it must look cool as my top design requirement. And does it look cool? Yes. Does it work? No. For my new machine, I'm removing stupid aesthetical design requirements like it must look cool and such. So that opens up a design space where I can make a form from function design like the Y-split. And nowadays, I think form from function design looks cool by its own nature. For example, do you think the Starship look cool? Yes. Were you crying like a baby watching the launch? Yes, the Starship is 100% form from function. A form from function design process will make the world tour possible. Just imagine if I can simplify this monster divider into this simple divider. Imagine when I simplify all the parts of the entire marble machine in the same way. Well, then we have a fighting chance. Andrew, Joseph, Moonquake, and Rosero, I hereby dub you Knights of the Holy Grail Marble Divider. But I want to thank everyone who rode out looking for the Grail. Thank you for sending in your designs. I'm so grateful to have such an amazing community around this project. Let's take a closer look at some particularly interesting solutions. This submission by Alastair is just perfection. Not only is the design great, but Alastair included the design requirements and some discussion points around them. And looking at the score, Alastair's design is actually scoring super high, 29 points. My own design scores only 28, so well done. Next we have Corom Thompson's great submission. Corom sent in a very interesting 13-minute long video looking at marble handling from first principles. Corom have uploaded the full video on YouTube. I'll leave a link in the description. The design is using moving part and it scores high, 27 points. Next, a submission from James Cordero, and this is the best version of a traditional marble divider I have ever seen. In this still, you can see the brilliant flap design, and I love that James added that the design had Rosero's seal of approval. The design gets a score of 27. This idea by Lars Wilms is a really simple and cool version of my wiggle tracks, and it scores really high, 27 points. Here's some very nice inspiration from a tennis machine, and in the same vein, Sino Cow sent in this spinning spaghetti monster.
A spinning cone funnels marbles into channels all around the spinning cone.
This design suggests making the positions of the gate adjustable, but that would change the spot where the marbles hits the instruments. We need to optimize the hit point for the best sound, so this is not an option. And here are 3 submissions that had the same idea. The best part is no part.
I suggest completely removing the divider and instead run all the marbles from each channel through a separate loop, because the part can't fail if there is no part.
Hey Martin, I think the best part is no part. Just make one lane for each channel. Thanks for an awesome channel.
These suggestions are so great in the way that they are aiming to make the design requirements less dumb by questioning the whole premise of my problem. Do we even need to solve this problem at all? But we do need to solve the problem because some instruments will be so close to each other that we cannot collect the marbles in separate funnels. But I agree fully with the principle here. Question the premise of the problem. About 10 people sent in Factorio GIFs, and then we have the zigzag solution. This design achieves no less than a perfect score. 33 of 33 points. That's the Holy Grail Marble Divider for you. You just can't do better than that. As you can tell here, I'm so happy about this design. But hey everyone, I'm even more happy about this functioning feedback loop. I asked for 10-second videos, you sent them in to me, and together we solved an important problem. I will continue to ask for design help like this whenever I get stuck, and I will use your amazing feedback to try to make a better designed marble machine. Perhaps one day I become strong enough to go up into that scary ring again. Thank you for getting me prepared for the rematch.